Hello and welcome to this special Sunday edition of Justice. I'm Judge Jeanine Pirro. Thanks for being with us tonight. We are live in Las Vegas, site of the third and final presidential debate, the first general election debate ever to be moderated by a Fox News anchor. Chris Wallace will be that moderator when the debate gets underway in just 3 nights. It will be a huge night for Donald Trump, who is trailing Hillary Clinton in most recent polls. We'll be talking about it in an hour. But we begin with breaking news. Military operations underway at this moment in northern Iraq to liberate the city of Mosul from ISIS. This has been widely anticipated for some time, but Iraqi state TV says the offensive has now officially begun. Mosul is Iraq's second largest city with a population of about 1 million civilians. It fell to ISIS more than 2 years ago. Fox News will have more on this breaking story in the hour. But for now, we go back to election 2016 as Donald Trump looks to turn things around right here in Las Vegas. So how can he turn it around? Let's begin tonight with Trump National Campaign spokesperson Katrina Pearson. All right. Good evening, Katrina. Thanks for being with us this evening.
Thank you.
All right, Katrina, with what's been going on for the last week or two, how do you convince, or how does Donald Trump convince Americans that this election is not a referendum on the issue of sexual harassment, sexual assault, sexual commentary, and instead it's an issue of what Americans need in terms of the economy, in terms of security, and other issues?
Well, I think what we've seen in the last debate, Mr. Trump essentially prosecuting the case against Hillary Clinton and her record, which is in complete opposite of what she's campaigning on. That was just the beginning, which is why you see the diversion and the collusion with the media and the Clinton campaign to distract from those differences between Mr. Trump and Secretary Clinton. And you're going to see more of that this week at the debate. This debate is going to be about foreign policy, the exact place where Hillary Clinton needs to be exposed, simply because we know that everything that she touched pretty much fell apart. Whether you're talking about Iran, we're talking about the red line in Syria, which has led to Aleppo, and we're talking about the Russian reset. These are all things that are going to be extremely important moving forward.
We know that, Katrina, but, you know, even as recently as last night, Donald Trump is tweeting about this whole issue of the women. So if you want the Americans, or if the Trump campaign wants Americans to focus on what's important and what Donald has a case to make, then why is he talking about the women?
Well, he's essentially defending himself, not on this network, but on others, every time either a Trump surrogate or someone representing the campaign is addressing those issues and pointing out the false allegations, including the evidence to support that. They get cut off, shut down, and even their mics have been cut off. And Mr. Trump has one avenue to get that outlet out there, and that is his Twitter account. And that's why you've seen that. But he is also talking about the WikiLeaks revelations, and that is tragic. We now know that our freedom is simply an illusion, which has been confirmed by WikiLeaks, because now we know the FBI, the State Department, the Attorney General's office, the Office of the President of the United States was all in on helping Hillary Clinton cover up and obstruct justice when it came to mishandling classified information with her secret email server.
Oh, okay, given that the numbers are not great right now, NBC poll 11 points down, you know, ABC, I believe it's 4, Fox a few days ago 7. Are the women who seem to have, you know, gone from Donald Trump, are they gettable? And what does Donald need to do to get them back?
Oh, absolutely. You know, Mr. Trump has closed larger gaps than this in less than a week, and we have plenty of time to do that, particularly now that we know that a lot of women are looking at these allegations and realizing that a lot of them are completely false, and identifying these women who have not been vetted, and the stories aren't quite matching up. And a lot of women have expressed their concerns to me and how frustrated they are that these types of allegations are out there. We've never seen anything like this before at this level, the targeting of an individual to not just win an election, but to destroy his person and his business, and that is extremely dangerous in this country.
You know what? But you see, Katrina, here's the issue. Politics is a blood sport. We all know it. And, you know, and in my small way, I ran 5 times. I get it. But you've got to be able to pivot. You've got to be able to survive it, and you've got to be able to focus on the issues. And you've got a lot in Hillary Clinton. Is Donald Trump going to focus on Hillary, focus on all the mistakes she's made? Can he do it in this debate on Wednesday night?
Absolutely. You saw him do it in the last debate. He did very well. He brought up a ton of those issues that you are talking about that concern you and many of your viewers. He's going to do it again this week, but he's also going to defend himself, which he has been doing. But at the debate, it's going to be 100% focused on the issues, because we owe it to the American people to show what has been happening in our government and to show that the stakes that are so high that we have to get out there and make sure that we reject this type of blood sport politics.
Okay, Katrina Pearson, we'll see you, I'm sure, here. Thanks for being with us.
I'll be there.
And as a deluge of damaging Clinton camp emails continue to be released by WikiLeaks, Hillary took the weekend off to prep for the final debate. So will she be ready to answer for them on Wednesday night? Let's ask Democratic strategist and principal at the Dewey Square Group, Marianne Marsh. All right, Marianne, good evening. Not a good week for the wind is blowing, but we're standing or sitting tall here. You know, not a great week for Donald, not a great week for Hillary. The WikiLeaks doesn't seem to be getting the attention that the women who've made these claims against Donald Trump have been getting. But, you know, I want to first start with one of these WikiLeaks emails that I just had a moment ago. And maybe we can put up a full screen. It's about 2015 in response to Hillary Clinton and the email concerns. There is an email from her staff saying that, quote, her inability to do a national interview and communicate a genuine feeling of remorse and regret is now, I fear, becoming a character problem, even more so than honesty. Now, we all recognize this, and the question that I have, Marianne, is that do you believe that Hillary has been able to overcome the, you know, that inability to connect with people that even her own staff has recognized?
Well, again, this was a 2015 email, allegedly. We don't know how, you know, we haven't verified these documents, but I do think that voters already have taken this into consideration. You can see it in the polling. I personally like the idea that was revealed maybe earlier in the week about a video that she could have done. I would have encouraged that. But here we are with 23 days to go, and we know pretty much everything there's to know about Hillary Clinton and pretty much everything we need to know about Donald Trump, though I do expect between now and the debate Wednesday night, it's going to be even more negative. I wouldn't be surprised if there are more revelations, and I think it's going to be negative all the way to the end. And that's Donald Trump, to go to your segment a moment ago. That's his only choice, is to try to get women to see this campaign as so negative that they don't vote. And you and I talked about that last spring. That's his only path. He can't win women back now. He's going to go scorched earth to try to say, oh, my God, I can't vote for either one of them. That's his only chance. And so I think in that respect, I really dread the next 23
Marianne,
days. It makes me sad about this campaign.
Marianne, excuse me. Marianne, what do you mean he's going to go scorched earth?
I think it's his only chance he's gotten most of the Republicans back in the latest polls, right? They've started to come back. He lost them after the tape that came out a week ago Friday. He lost the Republicans and women. The Republicans are coming back in large part. But women, I have a hard time imagining he's going to win their support back. So the only way his path to win or try to close the gap in some of these states is to make it so negative that women don't vote, which historically in very negative campaigns they don't. So the question is, do they stay home or do they stand up and vote? And if they vote, I think that's a big problem for Donald Trump right now.
But Marianne, what doesn't make sense is you want to talk about scorched earth. 9 women coming out in 2 weeks. I mean, come on. You want to talk about scorched earth? You know, scorched earth to me is these 9 women coming out. But it seems to me that instead of his defending himself, he should be talking about the 30 years that she has been in office. But I'm not going to fight his fight. The bottom line, it seems to me, is that she hasn't been able to overcome the fact that she has not connected with people. What do you think she's going to do with this debate? Let's talk about that on Wednesday night.
I think what I hope I think what most voters hope is what I hope, which is they both talk about what they want to do as president and lay their plans out there. I mean, say what you will about Hillary Clinton. Obviously, I support her, but she has very detailed plans for pretty much every question that's been thrown her way about how she's going to address things. When Donald Trump has done well, which was that first 20 minutes or so of that first debate, is when he talked about jobs and trade. So at this point, what people really want to hear is, if you're going to be the next president of the United States, what are you going to do to help me, to help my life, to make this country better? If they could both stick to that for the next 23 days, I think everyone would be thrilled. And it would be a great debate. But I'm unfortunately not counting on it.
Thanks so much for being with us. All right.
Always a pleasure, Judge.
Former GOP presidential candidate Herman Cain is here with me in Las Vegas. And coming up next, plus all these different polls out there. How can you tell what the mood is of the voters? I've got the one guy who knows. Frank Luntz is standing by for a live talk on the state of the race. And then I can't go on the steps. This is probably the best place I've been thrown out of. Yeah. Without a doubt.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. See what happens when I storm onto the steps of one of the holiest places in the world? Mom, I'm only kidding. What brought me to St. Patrick's Cathedral? Street Justice coming up next.